I'm Jeremy Morgan, and today we're going to show how to read JSON with C#. We're going to read data from a JSON text file with C# and work with it. Here are the steps we need to complete in order to read JSON with C#. We need to open the text file containing our JSON, read the text into a string array, create a data structure to hold each record, and then deserialize the JSON string and add each JSON item into a list of records that we created. And then finally, do cool stuff with it. So let's jump in. So I have a JSON file here. It has 100 records in it, and it's a list of our customers in JSON. Now, if you go to makaroo.com, you can generate fake data for your application. You can create nearly anything you can imagine and put it into a CSV file, JSON, or even SQL. And that's how I've created this file. For simplicity, let's build a command line application in C# that reads the JSON from this file and displays it on the screen. We'll create a new console application and copy in our JSON file to that project. Okay, so we need to open this up, read the file line by line, and then display what we read. First, we'll need to create a data structure. When working with JSON, it's very common to create a C# POCO, as in plain old class object, or a record, to store each item in the JSON in memory temporarily. That way you can read the JSON and store the data in memory to work with it. So each of these people will have their own object in memory as we're reading them. Now, since this is short-term data, I'll create a record for this, specifically a record struct. This will be a value type and it'll work great for this purpose. We know that JSON contains name-value pairs, and we want to create a data structure that represents this JSON structure, but in C# code. So each member in the JSON file will have to correspond to a member of our record. Now here, ID is an int. Everything else looks like strings, so we'll use strings to represent them. Now we have a data structure to store each of the people in our list. Notice we have a member in our record for every member in the JSON object. Also notice I've named them exactly the same. You must do this so that our JSON.NET library will map them together. Now we need to read that JSON file and extract the JSON. To do this, we need to create a stream reader that reads from our JSON file. And we'll create a string named JSON and have our reader read it to the end of the file. Perfect! But we need to do something with this. So our stream reader is going to read this entire JSON file into a string, and now we need to use something called a JSON serializer to break this stream of JSON down into a list of persons. So we'll deserialize the stream of JSON and line by line add each one of these into a person record and then store them into a C# list. So first, we need to create that list. Here we have a list named incoming, and it's simply a list of the person records. Right now, the string of JSON is just a long string. We need to deserialize this string and break up the records to insert them into the list. So we'll add this line of code. And we'll add in the system.text.json library. What this code does is break down the JSON variable, which is a string, apart into JSON objects, and insert those objects into our list of person records. Incoming is a list of persons, and it should be full of the records in our JSON text file. Let's test that out. First, we need to check if our list is null. If it's null, there are no values and something clearly went wrong. Another thing we want to check for is to make sure we have records. If it's not null, but there are no records, that just means we have an empty JSON file. We do this by saying, if incoming is not null, and the count is more than 0, let's do something with it. Let's say we want to extract the first and last names from everyone in this list, and display them at the console. Here's how we can do that. Our customer list you see here is in our JSON text file, and it's now a list of records in incoming. Since this is a basic list, we have all kinds of powerful things we can do with that data now. Let's use a for each to iterate over our list. We'll say for each customer in incoming, we'll display something. And we'll use console writeLine to display our first name and last name to the console. Let's open up a terminal and run it. And there we go. You can see a list of first and last names of everyone in our JSON file. It's that easy. We can count each of the records and display them as well. Because this is now a C# list, it's really easy with this line of code. Now you can also run LINQ queries to be more specific about the information you want to extract. So once again, we'll put in the check to make sure we get a result. And I want to extract every name that starts with a J, like mine. So here's my LINQ query. I'm stating that JNames will be a list where we query incoming where first name starts with J. Then I'll drop in the for each loop like we did last time. And let's run it and try it. And there it is. All the names that start with J. Pretty great, right? Okay, so that's how you read JSON with C#. In this case, we use JSON stored in a text file. If you're using a web application or WPF or something like that, it won't be in a text file, but the process is the same. You need to read JSON text into a string, create a data structure to hold each record, deserialize that JSON string and add each JSON item into the list of the records that you want to create, and then do cool stuff with it. The reason I chose a list of records is because of all the powerful things you can do with this. You can read JSON information, modify it, and even create new JSON by creating another list of records and pushing the values into them. The possibilities are endless. If you want to see the source code for this project, it's included in the description for this video. I hope this helps, and stay tuned for more videos like this.